Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at XRP. Before we jump into the price action, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. Okay, so we were talking about this in the previous video that we were talking about actually retracing back down into the zone, and we can see where we actually plotted out some of these subwaves, which didn't quite work out in the sense of how they formed. But to be fair, all we had was these first two moves here. So this is basically formed as something else, but we're looking for that possibility of actually looking to come up here towards this 1-to-1. And technically speaking, this could actually be a completed move here, and we're going to discuss what we think that this could mean from this point. So basically what we were looking for is we're looking for that possibility of forming a C wave to the upside here, looking for this potential of this zone of this 05839 and looking to actually interact again with this channel. We also did talk about previously this 1-to-1 of this X wave up here at the 7632 range. So we're talking about these zones and we have started to move up now. So what could this be? So we need to be aware there are still a few options here. This can look to potentially progress up here even higher. So we're going to be discussing those first, and then we're going to be talking about some of the other possibilities within the structure on the macro. So we need to be aware this is still a little bit open to interpretation. It kind of kind of depends on what happens next as to whether we can start to talk about more bullish structure here. So I'm just going to turn this off for a second here. And basically what we're looking for within this is this is what I'm currently looking for. I'm currently looking at this as a diagonal up into this point here, where this is a one, two, three, four, and five into here, flat for two, and then potentially we are looking for this as a zigzag for a wave four. So if this is the case, the only thing that I have an issue with this is basically that we come down quite deep. But for the fact that this was quite a shallow wave two, it is still technically viable. It has come past that 50%, which is actually sitting here at this zone of this 42.65. So we have come below that. What we want to see now is whether we can actually maintain this low here at this 40 cent 69. But the probability is that because we've lost this typical fourth wave area, it is already pushing that limit. So really, unless this starts to move away now, this count is going to be sort of fragile in the way that we're looking at it. It doesn't mean that we can't see extension up, but basically it just might be in a different way. So this is what I'm currently looking out for within the structure here. I'm going to go down to the 1 hourly. I'm looking at this potentially as a wave one into these highs here. Uh, yeah, into these highs over here. Then basically this move to the downside here, I think is just a double zigzag currently. It could always develop into something more, but given the current structure, there is quite a lot of overlap here. So I think that this potentially is done. We could potentially come down as low as this 41.69 and would still be viable as a potential wave two. But if we start to lose this zone, it becomes less likely and probably means we're going to actually set another low now um, or another low in comparison to this wave four here, and we're actually going to lose this potential bullish structure that we have over here. Okay, so basically what we want to see if we want to look for continuation is we actually want to see this third wave starting to play out. So we want to see a nice strong five wave move to the upside here, potentially coming up here and taking these highs. Then we want to see this possibility of having this fourth wave come back down. And if it is going to develop in this manner, probably come into the range and retest these before looking for continuation to the upside in another five wave structure. So this could lead us up to a push up into this zone here of this 5285 to this 5146 area. So this could be quite an interesting zone. Um, I have highlighted this area off of this previous peak here. If we do move up into this zone, that could be quite an interesting area for turnaround if we do move up here. So that would then actually potentially look to complete this rather as an a B, and a C to the upside, and that would have good structure. Currently, we do not have good structure for a five-wave move, so potentially it is either that we are looking at this move as just a three-wave move, because if we come and have a look at these internals here, if we do actually move down deep enough, so for instance, if we did this A, B, and C, and we come and we'd start challenging some of these lows, particularly this one here. that would invalidate that possibility of this fourth wave. But really, once we cross this 40 cent, or actually over here, this 38.98, it becomes less likely. And if we do start pushing down, into these lower areas, it already becomes less likely. Currently, where we're sitting, we'd need to see this move away for this count to be valid still as a five-wave move to the upside. So there's a couple of ways we can look at this though. If potentially this is actually a bigger C wave that we've got marked out here, which is looking potentially to move up much higher, potentially towards this 58.39, or at a stretch towards this 76.32, potentially we could actually look to move up into these areas. And what I'd be looking for then is potentially something bigger like this. So I'm going to just turn off this macro move for a second. And that would be where we're looking at the potential that we can look at this as a 1, 2 in here, and then looking at this rather as a 1, 2 and another 1, 2. So we can see here, if I come back into the hourly, what I'm looking out for here is basically maintaining this low point here. Once again, if we start to break these lows, this impulsive structure falls apart. Basically, what we want to see here is whether this is in fact rather a wave two, and we have this as an additional structure here, where this is an internal 1, 2 here, and we're going to look to extend up. So if we do actually get a five-wave move here to the upside, that looks to actually push up in a bigger way, where this becomes a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5, and we actually move up into the zone of the 63.46. That could then lead us to continuation here, where we get an additional fourth wave down into this zone here, 51.23, and then an additional push to the upside. Obviously, this is not confirmed yet. We need to hold this support zone, but if we do, this is always a possibility. We could start to see something like this play out and have a bigger five-wave structure here. Um, so with this, basically what we'd be looking for is that potential of actually coming up here, and forming this bigger five-wave move, potentially looking to complete around the zone of this 80 cent 11 to the 73.14. So this is interesting because this would actually put us up into this area of this 0.732. And then basically what I'd be looking for, if these internal legs start to extend like this and we do move up into this area, basically we'd have to look out for this additional possibility of a fourth wave and a fifth wave to the upside. At that point, I'd be sort of scrutinizing this wave four very much because of the fact that we'd have to get this confirmation by finding support again in this 51.29 to the 63 cent area, and then looking for that continuation up. Otherwise, potentially what these moves sometimes do is we'll get a three-wave move up into these areas. We'll fail to form this fourth wave, take out this wave one, and then potentially it could still look to move to the downside, and we could actually still set a new low, even if we do form a five-wave move like this to the upside. This could then just be that bigger X wave here, and then we could actually look to set another low, and potentially, depending on depending on how high we come here, that would just adjust this Z wave target. So even if we did come up into this zone, if I just come back out into the daily, uh, just throw this on here. Even if we did have to come up into these higher ranges here, potentially that could still mean we could actually still see a drop down towards this 21 cent range. So keep an eye on that. If we do actually move up here, we need to just be a little bit cautious. If we do move up above this 88 cent, obviously, then we could also argue that potentially within here we could start looking for another fourth wave, and that could then potentially look to push us up one more time, and then we could look for that retracement from that point. If we do get this as a bigger five-wave move like this, it wouldn't really fit into this WXYXZ anymore. And rather, we would have to argue that potentially, this could have been a bottom here, if that is the case, and that we could actually be looking to progress up here in a bigger way. And then we could actually look to potentially come take these highs. So that's what we're going to be looking out for in the bigger picture here. We can see this still play out. The problem we also need to just bear in mind here, the other way we were talking about this is that if we do just get this as a three-wave move and we fail to develop into anything else, potentially this could be a C wave to the downside. So we were talking about this 786 at this 49.48 in the previous video that we did, and saying, if we do get a three-wave move up here, potentially we could look to move into this zone, and then we could look to sell off in this C wave. So we need to keep an eye on this. If we hold those support zones, potentially we could still look to continue to look for upside here. But really, if we start to break down too deep, it starts to become less likely. So it's going to be very important to keep these lows intact if we are looking for continuation. That would be this 37.07 and this 34.73. Failing to hold those potentially could mean that we are looking for the C wave to the downside. So we talked about this move up in a five-wave move. There is also, the potential that we could see this as a corrective structure where basically this is a W wave. We're going to form an X wave in here, and then we could still see a Y wave up to the upside. And I would just be looking at this rather as a 3-3-3 move. And that could look to actually push us up towards this zone of that 1-to-1 of the of the C wave. You can see here this 1-to-1 of the C is here towards this 58, 39. And if we had to retrace down towards this 1-to-1 here, basically it would take us into that zone. So what we need to be aware of is if we fail to continue to hold that five-wave structure, we could see something rather like this play out, where this zone of rejection here, this 47.31 to this 44.79 holds, and we could actually see this move play out as an A, a B, and a C. It could have a direct sell-off here, and we could just go straight down. Alternatively, we could find this as an A, B, and a C. Come up here, potentially retest some of these highs or some of these swings, and look to actually move down after that fact. So really, we need to get back above these highs here for more confidence that we've got continuation to the upside here. If we fail to and we just get a three-wave move up here, potentially we could see this start to break down in either a five-wave move or another three-wave move if it's going to be a W, X, Y. But this move here potentially, yeah, I suppose it is only a three-wave move. We can argue, then we get this C wave down or this Y wave down towards the zone of this 38.13 area. So keep an eye on this. If we do fail to hold these support boxes higher up here, so I'm going to go over these in order to be fair. So first thing I'm looking for is to see whether we maintain this 41.69 to this 43.06 area. If we do hold this zone, potentially we could look to extend up here, and we could look to push up and make a fifth wave. If we fail to actually form this as a five-wave move and we start to take this fourth wave low here at this 40.69, what I would then be looking for would be that possibility to find support above this 39.40, which is 0.786, which would be this retracement here, would actually bring us right here into this high. So that could be an interesting zone of confluence there. But basically, if we do break down, this is going to be our next move, looking for that possible bullish structure to the upside. If we fail to hold this, then this basically really starts to get tested. And once we cross this wave one high here at, what is this here? 38.98, basically that invalidates this five-wave structure and would rather mean that we have a corrective move. If we do invalidate, basically what I'd be looking for would be potential to find support slightly lower down here, either at this 38.45, which would be a 50%, this or lower down towards this 36.27 to this 33.36. Now it depends on how we come down here. If we just have a three-wave move down, potentially we could come back into this channel over here, maybe test out this 0.618, which also potentially look to test some of these lows here, and then actually look to push to the upside from this golden pocket area between this 36.27 to this 35.69. So these are all still possible things that can play out. We can still look to move down into these zones and then still have a push to the upside. And this next wave could potentially either be a three-wave move, or it could even be a C wave. But it would probably be more likely to be a WXY if this is the case. Also an ABC, rather, a three-wave move up here, and then we could actually look to still move up into this zone. Technically speaking, we could just form a really small little X wave in here, something like this, and then we look to move up. It doesn't have to come down. The 1-to-1 off of this 0.618 over here, is this, which is this 45.81, is actually down here at 38.13. So keep an eye on these levels. If we do continue to drop down here, we could see a reaction, find support, and then look to move back to the upside. However, if we do start to break down deeper, potentially we could already be within uh, within this bigger C wave to the downside, which could be looking to actually target out towards this 2646 range. So these support areas higher up here are going to be key bullish zones: 3707, 3473. Once we lose these, basically I'll be looking for lower prices here, either towards the C wave here, this 2647, or potentially even lower towards this 1464 if we start to get a bigger breakdown here in a deeper C wave. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. As well as that, you'll find affiliate links for both PrimeXBT and BYBIT down there, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. If you do not have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone, have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.